Welcome back to my channel. I'm Joe with Smokin Joe's Pit Barbecue. On today's video, I've got some Texas-sized dino ribs. Is it better to smoke them whole or separate them and smoke them? Stay tuned. You can see, look at this bark. It's crazy. Oh man, this is perfect. It helps to start with a nice sharp knife, okay? Oh my goodness. Look at that. All right, so before we get to cutting on these ribs, I do want to mention that this is a video collaboration with Dead Broke Barbecue. Check out Ricer's channel. I will leave a link in the description box and also at the end of this video so you can check out his video. You know what? It's really early in the morning and I'm already thirsty. So I'm gonna start this off the right way. Let's get to these ribs. All right, so check out these Texas-sized beef dino ribs. These suckers are huge, okay? They're about 14 to 16 inches long, maybe 24 inches wide. So this is a full rack of ribs right here. Now, this is where your beef short ribs come from right here. So to get the beef dino ribs, what they do is they just leave the bones a little bit longer and leave a little bit more of the meat on the bones. Now, this is the rack that I am gonna be slicing into individual ribs right here. You know, my buddy Ricer and I were talking about ribs one night and we're like, hey, I wonder if we can get a nice bark if we cut the ribs into individual ribs versus cooking them whole. So this is what we're gonna try out in this video. But again, the test and the reason for this cook is to see if we get a nicer bark and a better flavor on an individual rib versus smoking the whole rack. So I'm gonna get to trimming on this rack right here. I'm just gonna trim the fat off. Again, these are beautiful Wagyu beef ribs from Midland Meat Company. Now I am gonna save this fat for my sausage making. I will not be tossing this away. Just have a good sharp knife and you wanna trim right above that beef. Okay, got some silver skin right here. Once you find that, the beef is right below that. Look at that. These ribs are absolutely beautiful. Again, so stay right below that fat. If you can get the silver skin in one swoop, then you're good to go. So one thing about beef ribs is that you will have pockets where the fat is a little bit thicker than the rest of the rack. Now you gotta be careful with that because you don't wanna dig out too much of that and have your ribs come out looking a little bit weird. All right, so I'm just gonna trim these up and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so I've got the ribs trimmed up as much as I want to trim them. All I'm going to do is flip them upside down. I did remove the membrane off the back of these ribs as well. So I've got my Dell Strong knife. It's super sharp. And what I'm going to try to do is cut right in between these bones right here and split that meat, if you will. Okay. Just going to draw myself an imaginary line first, or just a small cut, I should say. Kind of a guide. There we go. All right. Let's cut it. This meat is super soft. Look at that. Okay, that's gonna be a monster sized rib. I'm gonna slice the rest of these up and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so I've got the ribs cut up and look at this monster rib right here. This has a ton of meat. Now, as you get to the edge of the ribs, you will have a rib like this that doesn't have a whole lot of meat on it, but there still is plenty of meat for somebody to eat off this bone right here. So I'm just gonna set these aside and open up our other pack. Again, beautiful looking ribs right here. Now this is the rack that I will be smoking whole. All right, look at that rib right there. Okay, it's almost like this rack is a little bit thicker than the other one. So I'm just gonna trim the fat off of this one and I'll bring you guys right back. All right, so I've got the whole rack trimmed up right here and I'm just gonna apply a little bit of olive oil on the surface just to get our rub to stick. So Wagyu fat is not like your regular fat on your standard beef ribs, like your choice ribs or even your prime ribs, okay? This fat is really tender and it's gonna melt off really easy. So that's the reason why I left a little bit more fat on the ribs than I normally do. So just apply a good thin coat. All right, that looks good to me. So we're gonna apply salt and pepper. We're just gonna keep this Texas, okay? This is kosher salt. and 16 mesh black pepper. Give it a good coat. Now I did take the membrane off of these ribs here. A lot of people like to leave them on. It's going to be interesting to see if Ricer leaves the membrane on or takes it off. Don't forget to get the edges of your ribs as well. Gonna grab the bones that I separated. All right, so again, just a little bit of olive oil. Just enough to get that salt and pepper to stick, okay? Now, because these are cut individually, I'm gonna apply olive oil to the edges to get my rub to stick. All right, a little bit of salt and pepper. All right, so I've got my Yoder Frontiersman fired up outside. It's running at 250 degrees. We'll see you guys outside. All right, so my Frontiersman is running at 250 degrees. I'm gonna be placing these ribs on the top shelf, left side. Just gonna slide the shelf out. I gotta tell you, it's a beautiful day out here in Texas. I think it's gonna be like 75, maybe 80 degrees. I'm out here in shorts and barefooted. I bet you Ricer's all dressed up in the Eskimo outfit, because I'm sure it's freezing out there in Wisconsin. How he says it, he's from Wisconsin. All right, I'm leaving about an inch to half an inch between each rack, because I want that bark to build around the entire rib. So I've got to leave a little bit of space in between them so that smoke penetrates the middle there. All right, so I'm gonna move up my media ribs to the front right here. Since they have a little bit more meat, they can take on the heat there. I've got my whole rack, and this is gonna go right here on the bottom. Just like that. And I've got my tuning plates on, so the heat is gonna be pretty close. Might be a little bit hotter up here. I can control if I want more heat on the bottom or the top. I'm gonna try to balance that out with my heat damper. All right, just gonna close the lid. We'll check back in 2 hours. Stay tuned. All right, so it's been 2 hours since we put the ribs on. Let's see how we're doing. Oh yeah, looks like we had a couple that toppled over. Look at this. That meat is rising towards that center of the bone, which is what we want. Now what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna rotate these, so these bones on the top, I'm gonna put on the bottom shelf. Now these gloves that I am using, these are the MagnaChef gloves. They have a magnet built on the sleeve here to make them easy to take off. So I'll show you guys how that works here in a little bit. All right, so the bottom rack, I'm just gonna grab it. Oh man, look at this. Look at that pullback. That is insane. All right, so I'm just gonna put these bones up here. All right, and the bones that were on the top, just gonna place them right here on the bottom. It's okay if they lean on their side. They don't have to be standing straight up. All right, so check this out. To take these gloves off, just put them together like that and slip your hands out. Makes it real easy. It's got a magnet right here on the center. So I'll leave a link in the description box if you guys wanna grab yourself a set of those gloves. All right, so I am gonna be spritzing with apple cider vinegar and water mixed at 50-50, but not for another hour or so. Knowing my buddy Ricer, he's probably using wine to spritz, which I bet is gonna add some amazing flavor to his ribs. So we'll be back in 1 hour. Stay tuned. All right, so it's been 3 hours now. Let's see if we need to spritz our ribs. Oh yes, getting a really nice bark on these ribs. Now I did break my sprayer, so I'm just using a regular spray bottle with apple cider vinegar and water. These ribs are looking mighty fine. Oh, look at this boy right here looking mighty fine. Now I did transfer our cut ribs up to this top shelf right here. And I'm just gonna spritz them right here. And the pullback is insane on these bones right here. Pretty crazy. All right, we're gonna give it 1 more hour. At that point, we'll come back and wrap them up. Stay tuned. All right, so we are at the 4 hour mark and I'm in a pickle right now. I don't know if no, not that pickles. I don't know if I should use foil or butcher paper to wrap these ribs. So I'm just gonna sit here and think about it for a minute, sip on some wine. In fact, what would Ricer do? Would he use foil? Or would he use butcher paper? You know, Ricer's not the only one with bad background noise. As you can hear behind me, I got a neighbor having their carpets cleaned on a Sunday afternoon. Now Ricer, he's got people riding ATVs, deers fighting in his front yard. It's crazy up there in Wisconsin. Let's drink some more wine and think about this. All right, I think I figured it out. I'm gonna keep it Texas and use butcher paper. Let's wrap these ribs. All right, so let's check out our ribs. Again, we are 4 hours into the cook. I do want to get an internal temperature. Oh man, we're already at 201 degrees. 206 degrees. 195 degrees on the thick part. You know what? I will not be wrapping these ribs. Let's check this real thick one right here. 206 degrees. You know what? At this point, I've already reached over 200 degrees. They're nice and tender. This piece right here, that's real meaty, it's just about ready. Okay, nice and juicy. As you can see, the juice is flowing out. So I will not be wrapping in butcher paper. Now this rib right here, I did wrap this about 30 minutes ago because it was really tender and it was falling off the bone, okay? So at this point, I'm just gonna spritz. I'm gonna give these about 10 more minutes. We'll pull them off, let them rest, then we'll give them a try. Stay tuned. All right, so here's our mountain of ribs. They have been resting for 30 minutes. Again, total cook time was 4.5 hours, and you get these nice bones right here. I gotta tell you, the bones that we cut and smoke separately have a really nice bark throughout the entire rib. Let's slice these up. All right, so let's cut these ribs right here. I'm just gonna move these pre-cut ribs aside. Give me a little bit of space. All right, I'm gonna cut this big guy right here. This looks like the winner. Oh man, do you guys see that? It's squirting all over the place. All right, I'm gonna slice this one right here in half. Oh man, the smoke ring is crazy. Oh yes, look at that. That smoke ring is nice. Just gonna cut a couple more up. All right, let's give these a taste. All right, so the ribs are ready. I've got them all sliced up, but you know what? It's hot out here in Texas. I'm thirsty. Let's take another sip of this wine. Ricer, now I know why you drink wine out of a straw. All right, so the first ribs that I'm gonna try are from the rack that I smoked whole. Look at this. That meat is just falling off the bone here. Let's give it a taste. Oh. All right, so that beef rib right there is really tasty. I gotta tell you, it's got the right amount of salt and pepper, a good smoky flavor. That Wagyu beef from Midland Meat Company is spot on. All right, now let's try our pre-cut ribs and see if we got a different flavor profile. I gotta tell you, the bark on this rib is really nice. All right, here we go. Look at that. Look at the smoke ring on this rib. I mean, it almost penetrated through the entire beef rib. This is really tasty. All right, so if you guys have never tried pre-slicing your beef ribs and smoking them, I highly recommend you give it a shot. I gotta tell you, that bark throughout the entire rib, that's nothing but flavor. Don't forget to check out my buddy Ricer's channel. I'm gonna leave a link to his channel in my description box and also up here so you can check it out. Or is it up here? No, it's up here, I think. That wine is getting to me. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. Until next time, Joe with Smokin Joe's Pit Barbecue. See ya.